Hello and welcome on my channel Wolf Aqua, your channel about horticulture, aquaponics and aquaculture. And in this video I'm going to show you what I've experienced during my internship at the Urban Farmers in Den Haag. And let's go! In 2018 I did my internship at the Urban Farmers in Den Haag from April to August. I elongated my internship a little bit longer. Usually it should have taken me like 2 months, but I elongated it until the end of August because of certain reasons that I'm going to explain you now in this video. First, I would like to give you a tour in the farm. The farm had a total surface area of around about 2,000 square meters, and it was divided in the greenhouse, which had like around about 1,000 square meters, and a fish farm underneath the greenhouse of around about 1,000 square meters. However, there also the storage rooms, a small cafe and some office places belong to that area. As fish, they cultivated Nile Tilapia in the red version in a recirculating aquaculture system. The productive volume of that system was around about 100 cubic meter. The RAS system was divided in 2 sections. One for kind of a nursery system where they pre-grew the young fishes to a little bit larger size, and then the rest of the system was meant for the grow-out phase of the fish. The urban farmers were very friendly. When visitors wanted to take pictures or video shots, they allowed it to everybody, and that's why I also can give you now an detailed view inside the farm. In the following, I would like to show you the technology of the recirculation system a little bit closer. We start at a fish tank. The water went through a solid lift overflow that I also explained in one of the previous videos to a pipe that connected all the fish tanks. From there, it went to a solid removal unit, a rotating drum filter. After the water passed the drum filter, it went into the moving bed bioreactor for the biological treatment of the water. Here, ammonia is converted to NO2 and then to NO3. Before the water went to the sump, it passed a series of UV lights to reduce the bacterial content in the water. Above the sump was a degassing tower to strip out the carbon dioxide. The tower had inside a special material where the water was trickling over. On one hand, the carbon dioxide got removed, and on the other hand, all the other gases got balanced to the ambient concentration in the air. In the sump tank was also the central heating point for the RAS. From the sump, the water got pumped through an oxygen cone with technical oxygen and then brought back to the fish tanks. In each fish tank was also a diffuser ring for pure oxygen in case of an emergency. By the way, the fish got killed with electricity in this box. And from my subjective point of view, in regard of animal welfare, I think that is a pretty good way to kill fish, because as soon as you hit the electricity button, the fish, without even a wiggle a little bit, just turned to the side and were dead. And from the fish system, the water got moved to the central irrigation system for the plants, but that I'm going to show you in a second. First, I want to tell you something about the greenhouse. The greenhouse, as mentioned before, had a total surface area of around about 1,000 square meters. It was divided in 2 sections. One section was for leafy greens like lettuces, basil and many other herbs, and the other section was for the fruiting crops. Here they grew tomatoes, eggplant, chilies and cucumbers. The growing system they used is called New Growing System, or short NGS. The system is comparable with an NFT system. Here the plants grow in these gutters of plastic liner. The gutter had several layers so that the roots had room to grow. Furthermore, that gave the plants more stability, and this is especially important for tall growing plants. The fruiting crops got the water with drip irrigation, and the leafy greens had the drip irrigation hose inside the gutter. That helped for equal nutrient distribution. Since the greenhouse was divided into compartments, also the irrigation was divided in 2 loops. One loop for the leafy greens and one for the fruiting crops. The central irrigation system had 2 sump tanks, a fertilizing computer and a room for the stock solution. The pipe work may look quite complicated, but if you have followed the pipes, it became clear relatively quickly. The hydroponic unit was closed, meaning that no water got discarded to the environment. Water got only refilled from the fish system and evaporated through the plants. Into the farm was also a small cafe included. Here they sold their products, and they turned also some of those products into snacks for visitors. At the beginning of my internship, everything went well and the farm was running very smoothly. But then I noticed more and more people dropped out of the company, and it became clear that the farm had some serious problems. But I don't want to talk about the serious problems now here in this video. And after a few weeks, I think it was around about the middle of my internship, the farm was only running with 1 employed person and 2 interns, me included. And short after that point, the company declared bankruptcy. And then it was one morning, I was just seeding a few plants, a whole team of lawyers came in and took over the farm. The remaining people got appointed from the lawyers to shut down the farm and to clear out everything alive. During the cleanup, I noticed that tilapias were hiding in all kind of different places that were very difficult to reach. For example, we had quite some tilapia in our sump tank, and some of them had really a big size from over a kilogram. As far as possible, we tried to sell the remaining product, or we donated them, for example, for food shelters. However, some of the fish we also donated to the Rotterdam Zoo. The guy at the zoo told me, yeah, the small fishes are for the birds and the big ones for the bears. After the plants were harvested for the last time, we stopped the irrigation system. And here you can see how the plants look after 1 hour without water. I think this is one of the critical points of using such a growing system. In case of a blackout, you just have a limited amount of time before your plants start to die. End of August, the farm was empty and the doors got closed behind us. Even though we went through some very rough times, I would like to thank all the staff members I worked with, all the other interns and also the management that they allowed me to do an internship here at the Urban Farmers during that crucial time. And now we are almost at the present day of Aquaponic, my story. And after my master's degree, already a lot of things happened. But this I'm going to show you in the next video. Thanks for watching. I hope you really could learn something from it, or you got at least an insight on how a commercial aquaponics farm looks from the inside. And I would be very happy if you subscribe and like my channel, of course ring the bell. And if you have any feedback or questions, just post in the comment section below the video. I would be happy to answer some of those questions. And then I hope to see you next time for the next video. And ciao!